Good morning, fellow app makers. Behzad is here from Code Simplifier. Welcome back to another video of how to creating tip calculation application using Kotlin language. In our previous video, we created two different themes for our application. One was for our daylight theme and the second one was for night theme. So if you haven't seen that video, I just put a link in this description of this video. You can just go and check it out and come back to this video. In today's video, we are going to talk about application icons that what your user will see once they downloaded your application. In a very simple instruction, every application icon has been created by two parts. The first part will be the background of your app and the second one will be the foreground. And a combination of the background and foreground will create an application icon. That was a simple definition of app icon and what your user will see once they downloaded your application. Now we are going to break down each section and work around it and customize our app today to see how any changes will affect on our application icon. By now you have to have your night theme XML file open, so we are going to close that one because we don't need it. Just go to top left corner on the project folder, click on it, and if I minimize here, you can see what I'm doing. So we are in Android section. Just expand your app folder, come back to your resources, Drawable, and map. So open up these sections and I will go through what are they and how you can change them. Before moving on to practical section of our work, I would like to explain the theory of those folders, what are they and what they are holding up. Basically, Drawable folders keep a background icon and foreground icon individually, so it will create two separate XML files, which one holds the background color and the second one is foreground color. In the other hand, the map folder creates an icon for your application, either a square shape or circle shape, and map folder using the background and foreground icons combine those two and creates an app icon. Now we know what Drawable folder does and what map folder does. Now let's get back to our Android Studio and check those folders out. Go back to your Android Studio on here, and here I am in my resource folder. So the top one is Drawable and the second one is map folder. As I explained, the Drawable folder holds on your background and it holds on your foreground. So if we open up the folder open up the XML file for background and foreground, this is what you see. So just a quick reminder, your background and foreground may be different to mine, so that is not a problem at all. By end of this video, two of us, we are going to have the similar icon and similar foreground and background color. So do not worry. All I'm trying to do is just showing you what each folder holds on to. So now we know what's inside a Drawable folder. Let's check out the map folder. If you expand the map folder, you see two subfolders under the map directory. The first one is it says IC Launcher and the second one is IC Launcher RAM. Before we going ahead, just explain what these two folders, what's the difference. If you may guess, the second folder or subfolder, it's a RAM that holds on a RAM icon. If I open up this here, you see a RAM icon with the background and foreground in it. And here, if you open up your IC Launcher, you see exactly the same icon, but it has a square shape folder. No, shape, sorry. So now we know what each subfolder on the map directory holds. Now break down, why do we have many folders with the same name but with a different code? So before going ahead, just let's get rid of these folders. We don't need them for now. So open up the IC Launcher. Under your IC Launcher folder, open up the second one from top. It says IC Launcher PNG, and check the second one as well, the same thing. As you see, the picture is a little bit blurry, and I will explain to you why is that. As you may know, the Android devices are coming in a variety of shapes and sizes. Every different size of Android devices have a different density per inch. So that means the smaller devices basically have a lower pixel range per inch, and the wider or the most modern phones have a more density per inches. That means more color in per inch in the bigger devices. And the reason we have too many files for this launcher or the RAM launcher is we are letting the device to make decision which icon is going to use based on which pixel devices or pixel density it is going to take. And if I'm going to give you a real life example, is if you are running this application on, let's say, the Samsung model A31, the Samsung A31 has a different density per pixel. And when you're running this application on that device, the devices make a decision which of these icons with the different density is suits that device and use it compared to the density per inches. That's why you have to specify all of those folders to the device and lets the device to make a decision based on what it has on the background. So you may want to skip this step and you don't want to create too many apps based on a different pixel devices. So in that case, if that happens, if one of the users is going to run the application, it may get one of the blurry icons and that it doesn't look professional or doesn't look pleasant to the user. So what you are going to do, you are going to serve the user based on different tastes. That is a super simple explanation for why you need to create too many folders based on different density for your app. It has been too much theory. Let's get back to the business. But before we started, we need to download 2 links or 2 icons for our application, which you see in my app here. So I'll leave the links in the description of this video. You can just follow those links and you can download the codes or resource code for this foreground and background color that we are going to use for our application. If you follow the links, either your browser will directly download the folders or it just shows you what is going on inside those folders. If this is the case and your application doesn't or your web browser doesn't download the app or this directory directly, all you have to do is just right click, put as a save as. So here you have to be mindful where you are going to save these folders, because when we go into our application and we are going to download these 2 directory for our icons, you must be able to remember where you saved it. And I'll give you one simple tip which it will help you to make a right decision and put it in a right folder, so it will be easy for you to refer to them if you want to change them or swap the name or do whatever you want to do with the folders. So let's save this folder. Just right click, click on save as, and go to wherever you saving your folder or your projects. If you open up your project, you will get similar structure of the folders. So go to your app folder, 3rd one from top, then you have SRC or resources. Click, sorry, I'll just go click that one more time. SRC, click on main, res, and here we got drawable. So drawable, we have 2 drawable folders here. One, it says V24. This is where we save our foreground, and the drawable folder plain. This is where we are saving our background. Just click here. So you may have this folder already here. So what I suggest you to just fill the difference of 2 folders. Just put underscore new, then you can save the folder here. So that it differentiates these 2 XML files from each other. So click on save. So we downloaded our background. Go to our foreground, same process, click on save. Go to drawable V24, and here all you have to do, just put underscore new, and be mindful all of the XML files has to be lower cases. You are not allowed to have using the capital letters. If you do so, when you are combining, whenever you're running your application, you will get an error. So be mindful, always use lower cases. So click on save, and we have 2 different foregrounds and backgrounds direct XML folders in our application. So let's go back to our application and get them in use. If you're coming back to your application, if you look at your drawable folder here, because we downloaded those 2 XML files to our application, so they are automatically downloaded to our app. So how can we apply these folders or these XML background and foreground color to our application? So that is super easy. Just follow these steps and we will do it together. Go on Android. So I'll click on it, and here you see a bunch of different directories. Click on project, the top one, and here expand the topmost folder with your app name on it. Just go to your app, src, go to main, go to res, and here is where we downloaded our new XML file. Here we have new, and if you open up your application, we got new. So go to your MIP map any dependency v26, and you see the launcher here. So this is how your app look like. So all you have to do is delete these two, go to rand and delete these two folders as well. So we have to get rid of our foreground XML, not the new one, the old one. Just delete that one, click OK, and go to your Drawable folder, delete the background as well. So these two folders, now we have our IC launch background new, and we have our IC launcher foreground new. Once we deleted all of those folders, all I want you to do is just delete or close all of these tabs, because we don't need them for now, and I don't want you to have too many folders at one place and it will confuse you. So close those, and we are going to take one step back and do everything from the scratch again. So go to your MIP map folder, any dependency v26 folder, click on IC launcher, and here we have to have our empty XML file. So here we are going to open up a tag, and you have two automatic suggestion from Android Studio. Click on background space, and we have a drawable, and here just write down new, and here you see our two drawable XML folders which we downloaded right now. So obviously we having open up tag background, so we need to have our background, and here close it down, come down, doing the same process, but this one for foreground and drawable, and do again new, foreground, and /, and we close. So here we set up our app icon for our square shapes, and you can copy these two, or you can just write down manually. So I will just copy these two folders or these two directories, go back to your IC launcher rand, and paste those two exactly here. So you don't see the difference here, because all we see is our app, the foreground and background color. So our application is ready. Now let's run our app to see what it applies to our application. I've already have my app open here, but because I've done a major changes, all I have to do, just go on top, stop or terminate your application, and restart again. So your app will be running, and we are going to check if the app icon has been applied to our application or not. Our application is ready. All we have to do, just close our application, click on home button, clear all, go to your menu, scroll down, and here you see my tip app icon has been applied to our application. So we are going to open it up just in case we are in a right application. So that's it. We applied our new app icon to our application, and that has been applied. So if you have a real device, I suggest you to run it on your actual physical device to see how it feels for you as a user of your own app, for your own application, so you can feel it, what the app is look like. That's it for this video. If we are going to recap what we have done so far, is we learned about every app icon has two sections. The first section is the background of your application, and the second part is your foreground of your application. And a combination of those background and foregrounds are creating your application. And then we learned about what drawable folder holds and what MIP map folder holds. We learned that in drawable folders we keep our backgrounds icon and foreground icons individually, and our MIP map folder creates an icon, either square shape and circle shape, using background and foreground together. So then we tested our application, selected a different directory to new color and new app section for our application. Then we applied those two in our square shape and round shape of your application. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe to the button and just put a notification on so you're not missing any updating videos every week. And if you have any question or any section of this video wasn't clear to you, please write it down in the comment section below and I'll respond to it as quick as I can. That's it for me, and I hope you enjoy your rest of your day, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.